This crispy chicken is from a taco place. This crispy chicken is from a taco place? The taco place? Taco place. It comes in a burrito, too?
From your taco place, it's also a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. It's the best time to trade in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV with the room to haul your payload or playload. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Bronco fans, the new Boise State trading cards are here, and you can only get them at Jackson's. Start collecting them today.
Jackson's, let's go!
And final blade of grass. Done. And done. Who knew it'd take 2,007 man-hours to paint 47,962,053 blades of grass? Smells like game day. Whoa, it's not dry yet.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live is the only daily show that talks nothing but Boise State sports. And we do it with you. Give us your comments or questions in the ICCU YouTube chat. Or leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox at speakpipe.com/BNN. BNN Live is presented by our title sponsor, RoadPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our major sponsors, Jackson's, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, Lithia Ford of Boise, and the Blue and Orange store. For more coverage of Boise State athletics, check out the all-new BroncoNationNews.com, now part of the 247 Sports family. Now, here's five-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Goals against Boise State last year in the tournament. Daly makes the stop, and the Broncos get it done. Boise State to the final in penalty kicks.
Last night at the Boa Soccer Complex, the Boise State women's soccer team goes to penalty kicks and gets the win against San Diego State, the top-seeded Broncos. That's right, they're headed to the finals of the Mountain West Championship on Saturday right here in Boise. The Broncos will play Utah State for a spot to advance to the NCAA tournament on Saturday. So congrats to Coach Jim Thomas and the Boise State women's soccer team. Ava DeLise, the true freshman goalie, 2 big saves there in the penalty kicks. I know, Johnny, you were locked into Boise State soccer last night. Big win for them, and they will play for a chance to go to the NCAA tournament on Saturday.
My Dickie, I know every single program means a lot to him. He does mean that. So he loves the opportunity to get really, really excited about a non-revenue sport, and this might be that here. And especially there's room for excitement in this town when it comes to sports right now, VJ. So good for them last night. Appreciate you having me on. Gosh, it's Thursday already. This bye week just flew right by.
We had no ball talk last night, so I expect you to be just reared up, ready to go today in fine form for your appearance today, Johnny.
Yes, sir. I'm ready to go, man.
And it was funny because I was watching that, flipping back and forth. I mean, this is my life, Johnny. My family goes to bed, and I'm watching Mountain West Network. I'm watching New Mexico basketball. I'm flipping back and forth with the Boise State soccer while doing some work on my laptop there. And the announcer did mention, Johnny, it's been a rough week for Boise State fans, and brought that up in the broadcast there, that the soccer team was able to help things out a little bit. So they win the game in penalty kicks. They're going to the finals on Saturday. We may or may not have a coach or a player join us later in the show. We're still working on that, but congrats to the soccer team. Again, Saturday at 7:00, they will play for a chance to make, or with it on the line. They'll play Utah State, the 3 seed, with the NCAA tournament on the line. And yeah, cool watching them last night. Congratulations to them. All right, Johnny, man, we've had a couple days. We had the Breezy Dubar news yesterday. I'll get your take on that. But overall, it's been kind of a healing process here the last couple of days. Basketball will be first back in action on Saturday against a Utah Valley team that just won their first game by 81 points. And we'll see what happens on Saturday. But been an interesting week here for both these programs. And obviously football's practicing right now, I believe, their final practice of the bye week. And then they will disperse and get the rest of the weekend off to kind of regroup before they start back up on Monday. But I know Prater, and you guys have been talking about, Prater wrote in his column who's more likely to bounce back, football or basketball. But what do you make? And by the way, Prater's going to join me at 9:30. There's no show tomorrow, so we get 30 minutes of Johnny, 30 minutes of Prater today here on BNN. No show tomorrow. But what do you make about the two sports and the directions they're going, and just big picture where we're at right now?
Two sports. Well, I mean, that's a good column suggestion too. What program has a better chance to whatever recover. That's
what he wrote. It's up there right now.
Part of me thinks that it's basketball. I mean, this might be a deal where we're laughing at this in even 2 weeks. Like, oh, remember that? What happened? Like, if this team does, perform like maybe it should, or at least close to the expectations, and then maybe you put this away. I mean, the whole conversation, like, people are worried, like, man, this is going to mess up possibly Selection Sunday. Like, this is, Boston College hurt them.
It's not.
Boston College hurt them last year. So what is this going to do? Like, they might not even, maybe they shouldn't even play. Like, it's one of those things that feels like, and no, first, why don't you get to Selection Sunday and put yourself in a position to even be anywhere first? It's a long journey ahead. March? I mean, man, it's not even Thanksgiving yet. So, I mean, let's let basketball get into this. That really sucks. There's no way to sugarcoat it. Everybody around the program knows it. Hopefully it was hopefully you don't need that type of kick in the teeth on opening night, right? But for whatever reason, this team did. So hopefully it's going through the process and it starts on Saturday of saying, okay, this is who we are, and that's what we're going to be. I didn't see that Utah Valley score. That's funny. I'm not sure if they played like
they played a team, I think, worse than I think they played a team worse than Hawaii Pacific. Yeah,
that's what you're supposed to do to those teams, And as far as football goes, I need to know what's going on at quarterback. I assume it's Max Cutforth. We don't know that for certain. I don't know if Chris Marshall's back with this team. Football, I still got questions, man. So I would say basketball for me. Yeah, basketball can recover from this. I think a lot better than football, because football's dealing with significant stuff right now.
And I'm not trying to minimize the loss, whatever. It was an ugly loss. It was an embarrassing loss. It will haunt them all season long. I'm not saying that you just throw it out, it doesn't count, whatever. But I just have a hard time believing the first night of the season by 1 point, you lose that game, that your at-large hopes are dead. Like, it's just, I just don't see it. It's a bad loss. It's a terrible loss, but I think I'm taking the positive approach, Johnny. I mean, just think of the storylines. The season starts with the worst loss in history, and it ends with the best win in history when they get their first win in the NCAA tournament. Like, let's try to have the positive approach to it. But I keep saying this, like, it does show up at the bottom of their sheet, Johnny, but like, it's not affected by KenPom. They did not move. They were at 53 before the game. They were at 54 after the game because another team won and passed them. But the data from that game does not go into KenPom. It does not go into the net ranking. It was not a quad 4 loss when you look at it. So, yes, it is a horrible loss. People will remember they lost to a Division II team, yes. But when they're also evaluating the net and some of the other numbers, they can go, okay, well, they did lose to them. But yeah, they're also number 30 in the net, and they're one of the top teams that way. So the UNLV losing to UT Martin was actually way worse for the rest of the conference because that kills UNLV's metrics and things like that when they lose to a 300+ team at KenPom. So
yeah, but this is more embarrassing. It's
dude, I got 1 point, dude. I'll check it again, but as of yesterday, I had 1.4 million views. 1.4 million views on my
it might not show up on a metric, but it's bad.
I agree. I totally agree, dude. It was I'm at 1.4 million views on that tweet right there of the last shot missing and the game losing 1.4.
I got like 60 grand on my video, and that's a hell of a lot for my stuff too. Like, that's one of my most watched videos. It happened. There's no way to get around it. It's going to come back to hurt you, whatever. I don't think it'll hurt you as bad as they're saying. Just enjoy the damn season, guys. It's a long journey. I will ask you this, though. What happens if they get their ass kicked by Utah Tech? I'm sorry.
Well, Utah Valley.
Yeah. There's 10 Utah schools now. What if they get their ass kicked by Utah Valley?
Then you're okay to have some serious questions and problems. Yeah.
There you have it, Bronco Nation. There it is, BJ. Get smoked by Utah Valley and BJ's post-game show. So hot. Yes. I can't wait to tune into that one. But let's see what the hell happens this season. But it matters. It's there.
I would just say
hell, and it's worse for me than any. Like, for example, Fresno lost last night to my boy Matt Martin, the new AD at South Carolina Upstate. They grabbed him from Idaho. SC Upstate, they beat Fresno last night. Shot my boy a text. Hell yeah, there you go. That's a big win for them.
11-point favorites, Fresno.
But that's still like D2's way worse than all of that. It's the worst loss in America.
No, it is. It was, dude. I was listening to my friggin' sports talk radio show that I listened to in St. Louis, and they don't even talk that much sports. They mix in every other kind of guy talk, whatever. And I'm literally listening yesterday, and the guy goes, "Speaking of basketball, did you hear Boise State lost to a team?" And they're talking about how they were in a strip mall and they had 8 rows of bleachers in their seats. I mean, you do all this research on Hawaii Pacific. Yeah, it's not good. It's embarrassing. It's terrible. But with that said, Johnny, I still think you look at the talent on that. They laid an. I think there's a difference between they're not going to be good this year and they just laid an egg in the first game. I still think they have talent. You look around, I still think they're pretty good. Leon's teams have track records of getting better as the season goes on, and I would be shocked if this team in mid-February is not saying we're talking about as a team that's one of the better teams in the conference and pushing towards bubble talk, whatever. You want to call me a home or whatever, that's fine. I'm not minimizing the loss. And you know what? Maybe they are going to have to win the Mountain West tournament. That's fine. But you know what? Based on what I see on this team, I don't think that's some crazy thought that they have no chance to do. So to give up on the season on night one like some fans did is just hilarious to me.
No.
And someone says here, Johnny, my concern is they're going to play as a team or individually.
Yeah, I'm with you there. That you don't know anymore. You don't know what the chemistry is because you got half the guys returning who didn't score much, half the guys coming in who took most of the shots, and people are like, well, whose team is this? That is going to happen. There's money involved now. If you play more, you play better, you get paid more, you get paid better. Like that's a thing now. So you got to figure this stuff out, and it's not going to be easy for teams, but I think Leon has a a pretty good thing there. I think those guys all get along with each other, and yeah, they had the worst loss ever. It sucks. I don't know if it's going to be there, and this is going to be the worst team ever. I don't think it is. It's going to suck, but we'll see. I don't know. What if they beat Utah Valley by 20? I mean, you're still going to keep bringing up that D2 thing in November the whole year.
Oh yeah,
maybe, but let's just let them put themselves in a decent, even position to have their name called on Selection Sunday or win the Mountain West Championship before you just start saying, well, the whole season's shot. What, you thought they were going to go to the tournament going in? You didn't know. We didn't know. Nobody knew where this team was going to be. The coaches don't. Look at their defense. I don't know if they're going to the tournament if they can't fix that crap up. That was gross. They didn't defend. Like, they got guys like Andrew, just returners. I saw Meadow. I saw Buchanan, among others, that just got taken one-on-one. Like almost if I'm in the gym and I'm playing against RJ Keene, he's going to do whatever the hell he wants with me. I saw somebody do that to Boise State players who were averaging double digits in this league last year. Just and you don't need help. You shouldn't, but the help wasn't there regardless. But they just got taken to the hole by a pretty good D2 player. Like, that was the concerning thing for me. Lock up, defend. What are you guys doing out there? Like, Javen Buchanan, love him. They should not have had an answer for Javen Buchanan. Javen Buchanan, give me the freaking ball and let me work. Like, operate. Like, there's no Javen Buchanan that they're going to see. He's too big, too physical. Like, for me, it should have been, there wasn't that moment where whatever needed to click with that team and whatever alpha dog was going to, be the alpha. Either there's too many or there's none. And like, for me, like a guy like a Javen Buchanan inside, Drew Fielder inside. I don't know. And I'll go to my grave saying if Dylan Andrews takes it to the rack on the final play, there is a whistle. They would have given him a bailout call. They would have. That's a pay game. If it was anything close to a contact on that play, Dylan Andrews is going to the free throw line down one. Like, the settling for the jump shot there, man, that's what's Bill Belichick say, situational football. That's situational basketball, man. Like, take it to the rack. You're gonna get the call against those guys. And first off, you should be able to do whatever you want on that kid. You started at UCLA for 2 years. Take him to the hole. Be aggressive. Why are you, what is he, an NBA player, so you got to settle for that? No, get in the hole. And you look
a lot of people also looking at Drew Fielder looking like he's wide open down there in the middle.
Post it up. Give me the look. And yeah, I get you, man. That was frustrating. Situational basketball. I'll go to my grave thinking they get a call if he takes it to the rack there.
And you're also like you're Dylan Andrews. You started 2 years at UCLA. You can't go one-on-one against a D2 guard from Hawaii Pacific.
Agree. Or Javen Buchanan in the rack. Javen Buchanan's a perimeter player who looks and is physical like that. Get him the ball in the wing. Take him in. I don't know the mentality. That's the thing you should be scared about the most with this team, because defense with Coach Burns is about mentality. Yeah, Utah Valley, man. I didn't think this would be as interesting as it's going to be, but I got to see how they're going to come back.
I talked to a former coach who's a friend of ours, and he told me the other day, like, not that you're ever trying to lose a game, because this was obviously a embarrassing, horrible loss, but sometimes sometimes one loss can end up being way better for the season than sneaking by or whatever. And so sometimes when you're making decisions late in the game, whatever, again, you're not trying to lose, but you're almost like, you know what, like, we don't deserve to win this game. These guys need to know the pain of, like, it's not going to be the worst thing in the world if we lose this. And it obviously kills, I don't say kills, but it really does hurt the resume. Everybody understands that. But in terms of getting these guys to lock back in, Johnny, they've got 3 or 4 more of these bye games. They're not going to look past any of those teams moving forward. I can promise you that, going forward.
Oh, yeah.
So who knows? If they go win the Maui Invitational in 2 weeks, we're not going to be talking about it. It'll be, it'll be a game that maybe helped move them forward. And like I said, every other season has started. There's been an early loss. They've had to rebound. I get it. But I mean, it sounds almost like poetic, Disney script. Season starts with the worst loss in program history, and it ends with the best win in program history. Who knows? It's a long season. A lot can happen. But I think there's too much talent on that team, but I'm very curious to see how they respond on Saturday. And that's obviously going to be Saturday's a sneaky tough game. Then they've got 2 that they really should win, and then they have the Wichita State game. So, I mean, still a chance to be 4-1 and get some momentum going here before Maui. But obviously that one's still going to sting, but we'll see if the crowd responds. And Brad says, why did we play Washington and Idaho? Because you're allowed 2 games. I don't know what kind of question that is. I mean, you're allowed 2 games.
Don't even share that.
We got multiple family members in the chat, by the way, though. We got William Carmichael in here. Too much rotation. Peanut only played 3 minutes in the second half. Check Buchanan's minutes. Can't score if you're sitting on the bench. I know Carmichael didn't play a whole lot in the second half, Johnny.
That was weird, and I don't know. I can't explain it either. I thought Peanut was going to be a focal point with what they want to do. He played 3 minutes in the second half, 11 for the game, something like that. I don't know what that's about either. Sometimes I think you could say players maybe play on eggshells sometimes around Leon, because if they make one tiny little mistake, they know their ass is on the bench. Sometimes and that's hard in basketball. Basketball is psychological when you're out there, and you got to play free. You got to play through your mistakes. Maybe that's a little bit, but and Leon even said going into that game, I got to figure out who to play and when to play him and who to play him with. So that was part of that. You were still supposed to win by 30, though, being able to do all that, and they weren't able to. But that's why the rotation, Leon always cuts his rotation down. He'll play 10 the first few games. BJ, by March, that's down to 7 and 8 if there's some foul trouble. That just always tends to happen with the Leon Rice basketball team. But yeah, a lot of the minutes I was questioning that about Peanut too.
I would say Dylan Andrews didn't play against Idaho. So, I mean, you only had 1 game. Dylan Andrews didn't play in one of the 2 exhibition games. So you only had him for 1 game in terms of trying to figure stuff out. Let's see. I don't really agree with that. I think a team like that, you want to play lots of guys. They played 10 guys in the first 7 minutes. I think you want to mix it up. I mean, if you want to argue that your kid or family member didn't get enough playing time, that's fine. But in terms of the general rotations, that's what that game was supposed to be. You're supposed to be able to beat that team with your 11th through 15th players. So I think he's trying to give guys an opportunity early in the season and then figure out who deserves to play. And he saw some things he said defensively, Johnny, which is why some guys played and some guys didn't. Certainly defensively is part of what his thing there, because there were some guys that were getting beat off the dribble and some other things. And he said, okay, we're going to play some guys that want to defend and rebound. And that's why he decided to do that. Jordan says Leon messes with his lineups for a while. You would think you could do that against teams like Idaho and HPU. Yes, you would. You would. Typical Leon takes 20 games to figure out the rotation. We take at least 2 bad losses by then. My only Rice complaint.
He always has the one stinker in November. BJ, you've done detail on that. It's just, sadly, last year's stinker was to Boston College. This one is to a team in a strip mall that shares the locker room with the Taekwondo dojo down the end of the strip mall. I mean, it's like, it was just an embarrassing loss.
Yeah, it was. No doubt about it, Johnny. Embarrassing loss, but they get next crack at rebounding on Saturday. We'll see how they do against Utah Valley. 2:00 start time there. As I mentioned, the football team practicing this morning. Johnny, they're out, I believe, on the blue or maybe indoors. I'm not sure right now, practicing. And then I believe after practice, they will disperse for the rest of the week. And I'm not sure if coaches will head out recruiting. I would assume some of them will. And then players will get to either head home or just take a few days off and then regroup on Sunday. We haven't heard anything on Maddox Madsen. We would assume it's going to be Max Cutforth against San Diego State moving forward. We've had 4 days to think about it now, Johnny, that loss and moving forward here. Is Max Cutforth, in your eyes, good enough to lead this team to a Mountain West championship?
Damn, man, you put me on the spot. No, I don't think he is, but I'm wrong all the time. I want to be wrong here. I'm not at practice this week. Nobody is. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what the game plan's going to be. I would hope it's a different game plan under QB2 than it typically would be with Maddox, and it usually is. And those guys are way smarter than me with this. So, yeah, you're going to build that game plan around Max Cutforth's strengths, whatever those are. And he has a good arm. I think he throws a better ball than Madsen, if you ask me. He's not as good at the position or as good at football as Madsen. But if you just had an arm contest, and that's so little of this whole equation, Cutforth might win that. And he looks the part more, but man, he wasn't ready for that jelly last week, man. That wasn't good enough. And if that's Max Cutforth, all right, man, well, you're in trouble after Maddox Madsen. But hopefully that's not Max Cutforth and they figure this out. And I don't know. I say it every week. Can I please just have a game where Dylan Riley touches the ball 24 times and just see what happens? And if this all happens and you lose and you don't look good doing it and all the penalties and all the discipline and all that crap is still in the crock pot with his team, but Dylan Riley got his 24 touches, I'll sleep like a baby. That's like my one thing with this team. You look at their losses and you look at their best player. Okay. You look at their wins and you look at their best player. For me, their best player is Dylan Riley. And I know he hasn't popped the last couple games, 6, 7 carries. It's weird at running back. Sometimes your first pop is until carry 16, and then carry 16 through 22 are your mega carry action. If you look at the game logs, it takes some time. Defenses wear down. One guy gets hurt. He leaves defense. The backup comes in. He's not as good. Dylan Riley's going to stiff arm his ace. That's going to pop. Like, just stick with the best player thing. And I don't know if that's just, I don't know. That's just maybe not what they do. And that's fine. It's not my decision. It's theirs, and they're with the team. But that's kind of where I am. I don't know if they can win a Mountain West title with Max unless they completely shift things around or Max figures it out. He's had 2 weeks, man. The kid works his butt off. Let's see what he can do. I mean,
it was a little concerning to me. A little concerning to me, Johnny, that we found out basically that at least the week before that game, it sounds like Maddox Madsen hasn't been practicing a whole lot because of his injury, at least early in the week. So he's going out there and playing on games, and that's great. But it sounds like Max Cutforth's already been getting a lot of these reps, and if that's what the product was, that's a little concerning. Maybe 100% of the reps changes things. Maybe knowing he's the starter changes things. Maybe tailoring the game plan towards him changes things. But Marco said in his post-game interview with us in the team room that Maddox basically doesn't practice and then goes out there and plays because of what he's dealing with for his injury.
All 22 stuff. He doesn't do the ones versus ones, the scrimmage stuff, the game stuff.
Well, I'm saying, but if Max Cutforth is getting all those extra reps, I would have liked to think he was a little higher. Ready
it's
to
different
go
when you're out there, right? So they say,
I totally agree with you on Dylan Riley.
Dylan,
in their 3 losses, in their 3 losses, I think he's had 6 or less carries in all 3 games.
I don't get it.
Maybe 7 or less. And he's had I'm going to look at the game log right now, but I know he's had, I think, 7 or less carries in the 3 games they've lost. And I know they like Sire Gaines. Did you play into the Malik Sherrod wants to get back Fresno thing as to why they gave him that much action? I mean, do you really believe that they would do that? Some fans are buying into
he had the 44-yarder.
He did.
Spencer and Nate have said multiple times, we're gonna play the hot hand. That's what we all agree on in the room or whatever. Hey, we're playing the hot hand. And maybe that 44-yarder was enough to say, okay, Malik's the hot hand. He's feeling it against his former. Let's ride him, but okay. And they get to make that decision. I would have hoped it's not, hey, this is about Malik. We're going to win this for Malik. Like, it gives a crap. Everybody leaves teams now. This is a business. This is pro football. You work for a different employer now. That's it, man. So I hope that's not what it was. But part of me thinks maybe it was, dude. Part of me thinks maybe it was the reason, BJ. But
Boise State's 5-0, 5-0, and Dylan Riley gets at least 10 carries. You don't
Yeah.
think, you don't
I
think
want
there's
to
a coincidence there?
I want to see Dylan Riley get 20 touches every single game, and win or lose. Okay, at least I know the best player had the ball, and Dylan Riley's looked really good in those wins, like special good. Like, okay, we got it figured out. We don't have to worry anymore. We hit on another kid. It's Dylan Riley. I don't care if it's not Shire Gaines or somebody else. We got our guy. Here we go. Let's stamp U.S. mail on his ass and let him take us to where the hell we're going to go. Like, to me, that's what I want to see. And maybe that's not him. Maybe he's not good enough. Maybe he's got lucky in those games. I doubt it. But yeah, for me, Dylan Riley, more of Dylan Riley, especially against San Diego State, man. This team plays big boy defense. They're going to be really hard for Max Cutforth to operate on, man.
They're calling for the Wildcat in the chat here. What do you think?
I think we'll see that. Dylan Riley ran a ton of it in high school. All these kids do. You know, when they're in high school, they run a ton of Wildcat. They're comfortable with it. Yes, for me, put it in if you need to, 100%. I don't think necessarily you're going to be able to just line up Jimmys and Joes against these guys. I think you're going to have to X's and O's these guys and scheme a little bit and maybe try to delay the defense's attention, even if it's just some type of, fake on a fly sweep, something like that, right? Where you have to at least think the defense is going to stay balanced, keep them honest, not just vanilla stuff that probably the fans are upset about seeing every week. I know that was their problem last year. It was too vanilla. They wanted to use Ashton flashier. But you're going to have this. You're going to have to do all that, BJ. And I don't know the situation. Can you tell me, is Chris Marshall in the building this week?
I wish I could, man. They haven't made any of the practices open to media this week, so I don't know.
Because I don't know either. I don't know.
Was that weird to you that he was suspended from the game, but he was also suspended basically from all team activities and wasn't even around?
Not even allowed in the building.
Is that something you've heard of or no? There he is, Mike Prater. He's coming up shortly here. What do you make?
Get off it.
I should have just let you guys do it together. You didn't need me.
We don't need to do it together. Me and Prater are doing a lot of stuff together now.
Was that weird to you that Chris Marshall wasn't even around?
I don't know. Certain policies are, if you're suspended, you're out of our building. You don't exist to this team. You're out of the family, because that's the only way that they think you're going to know, like, okay, I really got to do things differently. But for me, with Chris Marshall, it feels like that is easily just going to be, we're going our separate way. Spencer Daniels said what? Chris Marshall needs to, can't remember the exact words, and maybe I won't paraphrase, but in regards to how he treats players, how he treats coaches, there might
just said it matters. How you treat your teammates and coaches matters.
And if maybe Chris Marshall doesn't think he's in the wrong, that's a thing. Well, no, I was just saying this, and then all of a sudden, okay, this isn't going to work. Maybe he just doesn't show up on Monday. I mean, so that's what I want to know with Chris Marshall. Because honestly, man, I think this team needs Chris Marshall, the player. He's one of their best players, man. And he's going to be a problem for San Diego State. And it's 9:30, so I don't have to do this anymore. Why don't you go to a commercial break and bring Forrest on?
That's what I was going to do, man. Appreciate your time. We'll be listening to you, Johnny, here. Mike Prater is going to join us soon. Thanks to Johnny for jumping on. No show tomorrow, so we're going a little longer today. 30 minutes with Johnny, 30 minutes with Prater, and we'll have Mike Prater joining us momentarily here. But do want to thank RoePaint.com, our title sponsor, ROEPaint.com, Andy Rowe and Company, best in the business. All your painting needs, whether it's those concrete coatings, interior, exterior painting, make sure you hit up our title sponsor, and that's Andy Rowe and RoePaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. They're back on board as an official sponsor with Boise State and with Learfield, and so we'll appreciate them for their support and having ICCU back in the fold at Boise State. So Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com is a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest, that mobile e-branch online banking right there in your smartphone. Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com, the SON Management Group, the Nicolason family. We appreciate Taco Bell Works for their support of Bronco Nation News and the local Treasure Valley Taco Bell locations. Looking for that great, delicious, cheap, affordable meal, get out to Taco Bell and visit a Treasure Valley Taco Bell location today. Hey, you can get those trading cards at $12.99 for the trading cards at Jackson's. And if Latrell Caples can get in the end zone next Saturday, you can get that 49-cent fountain drink. 49-cent fountain drink from our friends at Jackson's with that Let's Go Rewards app on the Monday following the game. And don't forget that 99-cent coffee anytime, day or night. Hey, we appreciate the Blue and Orange Store again. And don't forget Mike Prater coming up momentarily here. We'll talk football and basketball with Mike Prater. But first, the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. We appreciate them for their support of Bronco Nation News. The Blue and Orange Store online at theblueandorangestore.com. Great stuff. Jerseys, caps, bumper stickers, car flags, you name it. There at the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. And our fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise is underway. Never a better time to buy a new or pre-owned vehicle at Lithia Ford of Boise. And the Raines family love an RF-150. You can as well. You can go to lithiafordboise.com, view their full inventory of vehicles, and then you can test drive a couple, make your decision, be on your way right there at Lithia Ford. Boise. All right, we showed it earlier in the show, but we'll show one more time as we bring Mike Prater in here. Last night, the Boise Soccer Complex, big stop. The freshman goalie, Ava DeLeese, makes 2 saves and penalty kicks. The Boise State women's soccer team, they win, and they are moving on to the championship of the Mountain West tournament. They'll play Saturday, Mike Prater. They'll play on Saturday against Utah State, the 3 seed. But jubilation last night, and as the announcer said, Mike Prater, on the broadcast last night, finally something for Boise State fans to cheer about.
There we go. There's my mic. You got my mic? Can you hear me?
I cannot. I think Johnny might have turned up his mic, but not yours when he left.
How about now?
I'm not hearing you, Mike. I hear Johnny's mic's on. I don't know if yours is, so I don't know if I need to fill while you go check the mic or what. But
I'm not sure what Johnny did. Let me.
All right. We have Johnny's mic was good, but I don't think they turned on Prater's mic. But congratulations again to the women's soccer team. They'll play tomorrow night. Hey, while we're waiting for Prater to come back real quick, Bousher Real Estate, #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bousher and Bousher Real Estate. Check them out online at BousherRealEstate.com. Ridley's Family Markets, shopRidleys.com. 13 locations in the state of Idaho, surrounding states. Ridley's Family Markets, download that Skip app. Get savings up to 40% off of the checkout line at shopridleys.com. Transportation compliance service, transcompservice.com. Complete trucking management. You can get into the trucking industry, all the paperwork and things you need. They'll help you out online at transcompservice.com. And Snake River Pool and Spa, Patio and Game. The Spa Team.com is their website, whether it's a spa, a sauna, pool table. They got 4 locations. They've been around since 1978. They're part of the Boise State home team. Check them out. Snake River Pool and Spa, Patio and Game. And if you have a voicemail, we'd love to hear it on the Signature Roofing voice inbox line. The website is speakpipe.com/BNN. Speakpipe.com/BNN is the website you need to go to. Speakpipe.com/BNN. You can leave us a voicemail day or night, and we'll try to play those on an upcoming broadcast. And it's brought to you by our friends at Signature Roofing, online at mysignatureroofing.com. Speakpipe.com/BNN is the website. But Signature Roofing, whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an estimate, an inspection, they got you covered. We appreciate them. They got you covered day or night. Signature Roofing, and they're ready to help you out with all your roofing needs. Again, online at mysignatureroofing.com. All right, they're figuring out Mike Prater's microphone. He's going to join us shortly here. We got a lot of comments and things coming in the chat. So we'll get to Mike Prater momentarily, and we appreciate them for making it work today. No show tomorrow. As I said previously, I am headed back for a family charity event. My family started a charity that helps kids with cancer 25 years ago when my cousin Annie was diagnosed with brain cancer and unfortunately passed away. So we kind of remember her legacy by doing some charity events and things. And I have been unable to make it back for a long time because of the football schedule, but it worked out that the bye week was on the night of our 25th anniversary gala. So I will be heading back to help out and volunteer. I think yours truly is even going to be emceeing the live auction. So try to raise some money. We've got a Taylor Swift autographed something. There's I think a Bob Gibson game-worn like Cardinals jersey from the 60s. There's a lot of cool trips and items and things. And I'll be emceeing the auction and helping out on Saturday back in St. Louis. So no show tomorrow. And we will have our friend Nathan Carroll running pregame and postgame on Saturday. So we'll still have plenty of pregame, postgame coverage on Saturday of Boise State and Utah Valley. Do we have you now, Mike Prater?
Should have me good, loud and clear. I think we hit the right button after hitting the wrong button, and we should be good. Can you hear me?
Now some people on the chat were enjoying not being able to hear you, Mike.
That's my gift to you guys. 5 minutes and no Prater. Always glad to help. By the way, I wanted to say that I know I'm not a big soccer guy, and I'm a kind of a football snob, and let's just leave it at that. But my son and I were actually watching that game last night live, and thought it was pretty darn cool. My son wouldn't know football if it fell out of you-know-where. He's not a big sports guy other than hockey, and somehow he got into it. So that's the kind of sporting event that captures people's attention in a community where maybe they're not sports fans. And I thought it was a pretty cool moment. And I just wanted to give a quick shout out to a team that we don't give a lot of credit to, or a lot of recognition to. We're not going to talk soccer on Sports Talk Radio, but that doesn't mean that's not a cool thing that happened last night.
Yeah, no doubt. And they'll play, they're one win away from the NCAA tournament. So they'll play on Saturday night, 7 o'clock against Utah State. And went to penalty kicks there. And it was a kind of dicey there, but they get the win. Sellout crowd, I believe, at the soccer complex there. And you talk about Jeremiah Dickey and his kind of vision and all this kind of stuff. I mean, they're showing the drone shots during the broadcast, which I thought was pretty cool, Mike Prater. But you see the new field they put in, the new lights they put in there. I mean, even a sport like soccer shows what Jeremiah Dickey's trying to improve to do with all the athletics department in sports.
Yeah, the drone stuff was cool. The LED lights was really, really cool. Now, they probably need to figure out a few more lights during the broadcast itself. There was a lot of dark patches on the field, and, it's hard to find enough lights in the middle of a Boise neighborhood to light up an entire soccer pitch. I get that, but, the lighting was a little bit of an issue overall, but the LED stuff, the overall presentation, the drone stuff, the crowd, the atmosphere, holy cow, that was really, really cool. So kudos to them, and if they could bring home a championship, that'd be the first championship of the year for Boise State, obviously, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no doubt. Surf City Bill saying Mike never sounded better, I guess, when you were
when I was silent.
Yes, I guess so. People were blaming.
I think you got a marketing idea. From now on, when I do my regular deal on Fridays, just come on for 30 minutes of dead air. I won't say a word, and you can still pay me, and let's make the audience happy. It's a win-win for everybody.
Somebody said that Johnny sabotaged you on the way out. I wouldn't put that past him either.
No, he didn't. We forgot
he was happy. He got 50. He's getting paid for 2/3 of the work today. So he was happy to get off. He got off of there pretty quick, but we do appreciate it, Mike. No show tomorrow due to some scheduling conflicts. And so still wanted to get your opinion on some things and have you jump in here for about 20 more minutes or so. And I know you wrote the column for BroncoNationNews.com. You guys talked about it on your show, and we were talking about it with Johnny too, but just, been a rough week for football, basketball fans. I mean, basketball still gets the next 2 opportunities actually here to kind of quote unquote bounce back. They'll play Saturday and they'll play again on Tuesday. They certainly should win Saturday, but I'm just throwing it out there that Utah Valley is actually not that bad of a team. They just won their last game by 81 points, and I think they check in at 111th at KenPom. So in terms of like the batch of teams Boise State is playing here over the next several games, this is the toughest team they'll play in the next 2.5 weeks before they go to Maui. So a nice test on Saturday, but I'm just not sure how to handle all this. Mike Prater being positive around basketball. I just it's almost like you're doing it like this you have an ulterior motive or something. So I don't know. I say that jokingly because I know at times it's been easy for Mike Prater to and deservedly so. Be a little negative at times on the basketball team, but you in your column said that you liked a lot of what you saw. I took it as just a fluke thing, not necessarily this team sucks, but you're fully confident, at least in the short term, that the basketball team's going to rebound and be okay.
Yeah, 100%. And part of my optimism is fueled by honesty. And I'll tell you this, my expectations for this basketball program are low, really low. And they, frankly, they always have been since I first started covering this team in 1993. And they told me that they were going to win an NCAA tournament and they lost. And then in 1994, they said they were going to win an NCAA tournament and they lost. And my expectations for this program have gotten lower every single year. That's not a knock on any person. That's not a knock on any coach or any era or any player. That's just how I feel about this basketball program for 30 consecutive years has let me down. So I went into the game the other night with very low expectations. As a matter of fact, I took a piece of paper and a pen, and the only thing I cared about was getting to learn and getting to know the roster and getting to know these half dozen new players. I didn't care about the loss, and I really still don't care about the loss. I get the significance of it. I get that it's an important loss, but I'm not sure what you and Johnny, because I was listening to you guys coming in. I don't know if it was a bad loss or a good loss. You guys were kind of all over the place. At the end of the day, I don't think it really even matters. If it comes down to March and they're left out of the tournament because of that, well, that's a bigger issue. That's not just a solo issue. That's just the vehicle that they've used. So I think this basketball team, I saw it with my eyes, and I'm not a basketball expert, but I saw it with my eyes. This is a good roster. There are 6 players. It's almost like the UNLV thing. Dan Mullen comes in, he brings in 80 new players, and do we expect them to be great? No, there's some chemistry, and they had some ups and downs, and they're not a very good football team right now. But Boise State basketball brought in new players. There's going to be some chemistry. That's why you play 30-plus games. I have no issues with Boise State basketball getting better throughout the course of this season.
It was I don't want to mince words. It was a terrible loss. It was a bad loss, no doubt. It was an embarrassing loss for Boise State basketball. In no way of even me trying to be positive at times can try to sugarcoat that one or say, I mean, that was as I said, my tweet showing the final play or whatever has gotten 1.4 million views on Twitter, and it's getting retweeted by every national outlet and person out there. I mean, it was they were, I think, laughing stock of college basketball is a little too strong and harsh, but they were the negative talk for 24 hours, Mike Prater. And partially when you look into Hawaii Pacific and they play in their school is like a strip mall, and they play in like an old high school gym with 8 rows of seats. And you look at the size that they had compared to $1 million NIL roster on Boise State. I mean, it was a game that happens 1 out of 50 times. Boise State came in, took them lightly, thought they'd beat them by 50. And that's why I think Leon Rice maybe can get some positives from this in terms of now when they play some of these games, which they're going to have 4 or 5 more of these where they should crush the team. I don't think you're going to see them taking any more teams lightly moving forward. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but that's not to say that they took this other team lightly either, yeah. Hawaii Pacific. So, there's it happened, and it's, they're going to just have to respond and get better. Now, if I'm not concerned about this basketball team at all, and that's what I wrote in this column, I think this basketball team is going to be just fine moving forward, and I'm really optimistic about the direction of this basketball team. But if they lose on Saturday, that's a whole other conversation. And then all of a sudden we got some problems. Like, I feel like we have some, real problems when it comes to football. There's lots of substance when it comes to the football problems right now. And that's why I think basketball has a chance to respond better. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, and I just look at the team and say they may not be an NCAA tournament team. They may not win the Mountain West, but there's just too much. I mean, there's just too much talent on this roster for this team to go like 10-20 this year. Like, this is, some people just saw the game and thought, okay, I'm out. This, whatever, another year of whatever. Like, they laid an egg. They flopped. It was embarrassing, but it was one game. And I really do think that if it gets down to it, like the 1-point loss on the very first night of the season doesn't immediately eliminate you from the rest of the season. So we'll see what happens. Terrible loss, no doubt about it. But Leon Rice teams do typically take a loss or two that are bad early in the season, and then they kind of get the momentum going and improve, and we'll see what it looks like here in a couple of weeks. But the next 4 games are pretty much must wins. You got to be 4-1 going to Maui in a couple of weeks, and we'll see what it looks like there. On the football side, though, Mike, yeah, I mean, where to start? A lot of issues. We fully expect Max Cutforth to be the guy moving forward here. I talked to a booster this morning that said he was going out to practice. So I guess no, I didn't delete anybody's comment. I have no idea what someone's talking about there. I don't know what. Sorry, I just saw that real quick. I didn't delete any comments on my end, so I don't know if somebody else did. I didn't even see it. But they are practicing this morning, I guess, Mike, and then they're going to break for the rest of the weekend and then regroup. So I guess some coaches may go out recruiting this weekend. They'll let the players either go home or just take a few days off or whatever. But going to be very curious, when we talk to Spencer on Monday, kind of what the feel is, what the mood is, what this team looks like, and do they have enough in them to piece this thing together here? Because still a lot to play for, still in control of their own destiny. I mean, I know it sounds funny to say that at this point with what we saw and what we think we might see against San Diego State, but if they're able to find a way to win the San Diego State game, they have two very winnable games after that to wrap this thing up, and very easily could be hosting the championship game again.
Yeah, and then that's the best case scenario, and it's not a stretch to say that can happen. I don't think they're going to beat San Diego State, but crazy things have happened in the Mountain West. Crazy things happen in college football, and nobody would be shocked if there's an upset. That's just kind of the nature of what's going on right now. So just because of the quarterback play, and I don't think Max Cutforth is going to be as bad as we saw him last week. And I don't think they have to have Max Cutforth. And I'll even disagree with what Johnny said. I don't think they have to have Chris Marshall. As a matter of fact, a guy like Chris Marshall, and I don't dispute the fact that talent-wise, he might be the best player on this football team. But sometimes subtraction by addition or addition by subtraction or whatever the hell the phrase is a good thing. I said the same thing about Breezy Dubar the other day, and that's nothing personal about a really great kid. But what has he done to help this football team? He's been here for 3 seasons. He's never rushed for 100 yards. He can't catch out of the backfield. I think he's had 1 game over 65 yards his entire career, and he gets hurt on the first day of practice. Him leaving the program opens up a roster spot to bring in somebody that could possibly be better. Chris Marshall opens up opportunity. Now, do they have players on this team right now over these next 3 weeks that can create that opportunity? I don't know. If Chris Marshall comes back and his head's in the game, but then again, what's Chris Marshall? Has Chris Marshall ever won a game? Has Chris Marshall ever done anything great at Boise State? His hype is still way better and bigger than his reality. So I might want a 3rd, 4th, 5th string guy, like a young freshman, one of these young kids, Whitlock, Brown, whoever, and give him an opportunity to see if he can come out, because those guys are hungry. They need it. And it seems like Chris Marshall's just kind of hanging on and resting on his talent relationship. So they're going to have to deal with a lot of chemistry issues. The quarterback's going to have to get better. You can come up with a game plan. If Spencer Danielson constantly tell us this is a run-first, power-heavy team, then I need to see it. And Nate Potter, you need to execute it. And I need to see 4 runs for every 1 pass. Take the ball out of Max Cutforth's hands and just force feed. And we'll figure out if they can win a football game that way. So I think there is optimism for this football team, but it's not the obvious stuff. The guys like Chris Marshall or the quarterback, it's getting everybody else prepared for that big game next Saturday.
Hey, quick programming note. I did just get confirmation when you're done here at 10 o'clock, Mike, Kenzie McMillan, the leading scorer for the soccer team, is going to pop on for a few minutes and talk about their win. So anybody that did want to hear some soccer talk, we'll have that at 10 o'clock. Kenzie McMillan is going to jump on, talk about their big win before their practice today as they get set for Saturday's championship game. But yeah, I mean, is Jackson still going to give us I saw somebody say on Twitter, can we get a Breezy bundle, just like in honor of Breezy, since we got 1 last year, I think, at the end of the season, but that's been it in 2 years.
I believe that is correct. I mean, Breezy has 3 touchdowns his entire career, I believe.
I think 4.
He's got 4. Okay. Yeah. And obviously nothing recently, but yeah, that's hey, that was good marketing. It sounded cool. The Breezy bundle sounds awesome. Sometimes these things work, sometimes they don't. You know, that's why when I suggest that Spencer Danielson goes out and spends $1 million on a transfer portal quarterback, there's no guarantee. Just ask Oregon State. They spent $1.5 million on a transfer quarterback who's now sitting on the bench because he lost his job. So, hey, the marketing ideas are cool. Breezy bundle sounded really, really cool. And hopefully that's the beginning of they can find somebody else next year, and the Ben Ford bundle next year. I need to see that.
So where are you, Mike? I know you guys have been talking about it on your show, and it's been a hot topic, obviously, all week about just what the QB room looks like right now compared to other QB rooms, and how the coaches messed this up, that their best option was Max Cutforth after Maddox went down. There's been a lot of talk about this. I mean, I think there are some questions for Spencer Danielson. I mean, we talked about it literally since January on this show, on your show. Like, QB depth was an issue. QB depth for me was a big problem. I was saying all along, I think they need a way to find somebody. But with that said, like, I don't think it's also that easy, Mike, in terms of all the reasons we've talked about. Your guy that started in the CFP is back for another year. They had no money to offer a backup quarterback, or that's just not how they want to spend their NIL money. And there's a lot of variables that come into it. I'm sure they probably tried, but they couldn't get anybody. Is it just a crappy circumstance? And if Maddox is back next year, is it going to be the same situation where even if a coach says, hey, we're going to let you compete for the job, like, how many quarterbacks actually think they're going to get a chance to compete for the job with a multi-year starter coming back? I mean, they're kind of in the same spot as last year, and especially if they're not going to change their philosophy, which you and me were kind of grilling Spencer about last week or the week before about. I mean, I know they have this, we're not going to pay freshmen, we're not going to do this, we're going to earn this, but like, at some point you're going to keep losing these guys to Oregon and Georgia and Iowa and all these other places. Like, I know they only need 20 dudes, but also, like, I mean, there's a reason the room is what it is. No disrespect to Max Cutforth and Caleb Annett and these guys. I mean, heck, Maddox Madsen was the backup plan for Caton Hauser that decommitted and went to Michigan State, you know? So, I mean, he's obviously proven to be a fine quarterback, but I just don't see this problem changing unless they change some of their ways here. How do you look at, I guess, how it got to this point, but also moving forward, what the quarterback room is going to look like and how they need to approach this.
You're right. It's not easy, but this profession is not easy. And I think that there is some coaching neglect in terms of how they handle the quarterback room. I think that there was some blind love going on here and your head in the sand kind of mentality when it comes to Maddox Madsen and the backup. I'm perfectly fine with Maddox Madsen as your starting quarterback, but the backup was grossly underappreciated. And that's not a cut. That's not a knock on Max. It's just this program deserves better when it comes to the quarterback room, even though there's a great inconsistently story with Boise State football and quarterbacks. So here's my deal. I really don't care right now about next August or the Oregon game. My biggest concern with this quarterback room, I need five dudes competing for a starting job starting January 1st. I need Max Cutforth and I need Maddox Madsen. If Caleb Annett wants to stick around, fine. Throw Caleb Annett in there. Here comes Jackson Taylor, who we've all got a chance to meet over the last couple of weeks. Had him on our show yesterday. Spectacular kid. I have no idea if he can play football. And I'm not even going to talk about the football part of it. But as a guy who talks, he's a leader. He's mature. He's everything that you want. And then I do want a transfer portal quarterback to come in here. And I want Spencer Danielson to lift the lid on his ridiculous freshman policy. It sounds good in paper, but if Leon Rice and Spencer Danielson have these weekly conversations like they talk about, at what point does Spencer Danielson go, wait a minute, Leon Rice just spent $1 million plus on bringing in 6 brand new guys. Is Drew Fielder getting $500,000? I don't know. Are the other guys getting 200,000, 300,000, 400,000? You know this NIL money better than I do. Leon Rice gave more than $1 million to kids who have never played at Boise State. We always criticize Leon Rice, but he gets it. Spencer Danielson can't get it. I need you to send a message. And if I don't care if it's a third stringer at a Power 4 program. I don't care if it's an MVP Mountain West player, MVP player of the year at an FCS program. I don't care what it is. Give a quarterback about $300,000-$400,000. Get his butt in here. Promote the fact that you're doing this because I think it sends a really cool message. Now we have a 5-person competition, and I'll let the coaches figure that out. And if Maddox Madsen wins that again, remember, he's beaten out Taylor Green. Remember, he's beaten out Malachi Nelson. He's pretty darn good at beating out quarterbacks in competition. If they decide to do that, then I'm fine. I just need a off-season competition with 5 dudes, including 1 money guy. That's all I want.
Do you know, putting you on the spot here, but what kind of range do you think Maddox Madsen is in NIL-wise?
I think he's got more swag than he does cash, and I'm just kind of guessing. I mean,
that's just a tough. That's a tough dilemma where you may end up bringing in a backup guy that makes more money than he does.
That's the nature of what we're doing right now, and I'm going to guess Drew Fielder is the most highly paid guy on the Boise State roster. Am I right or wrong?
That's probably a fair assumption.
Okay, and he's played what?
I think Dylan Andrews is probably pretty close though, if they're not tied or close.
Yeah, and those are the 2 new guys. What about Andrew Meadow, the guy that's returning and the guy who's probably the best player on this team? I guarantee you it's not him that's making the most cash. So you can make that happen. It's a legitimate question. I'm not downplaying your question. You have to do it the right way. 100% you have to do it the right way. But this is business, man. This is business. And you know, we're going to have business conversations. And if you can't handle it, then maybe you're in the wrong profession. And it's not about personal matters. It's not about how much I love you. It's business. And Spencer Danielson needs to ditch some of the love and turn some of the love into tough love and hardcore business. And hardcore business means bringing in a guy that can make your quarterback room better, having them compete and see what happens. That's my only goal for this offseason, to have that competition, including a transfer portal quarterback who's getting a little bit of cash.
Do you think that's realistic, though, in terms of we've heard Spencer Danielson go, to bat for Maddox Madsen as he wouldn't want another quarterback in the country, and he loves Maddox Madsen. And I sometimes you just have to say that, whether you believe it or not. You're just, what else are you supposed to say? But he is very loyal to his guys, Mike Prater. I mean, do you really see a scenario where somebody would come in and have an actual chance to be the starter against Oregon?
That part is a great question, and probably not. That's why I'm not going to worry about who the starter is. I just want to see the competition. And is it going to funnel into the answer that we think it probably is? Yeah, I do. I do think that. If you told me today who's going to be the starting quarterback in Eugene next year, it's going to be Maddox Madsen. I think we would all agree with that. But I need to roll the dice for 6 months and see what happens. And I want as many dice on the table as possible. So it may be fruitless. It may backfire when you spend the money and he's sitting on your bench. Even if he spend the money on a backup quarterback and he spend on the bench, at least you have a better backup. And again, that's no knock on Max Cutforth. And maybe Max Cutforth develops over the next year. I mean, we had his high school coach on yesterday. And you know what his high school coach told us in terms of the ceiling? He said the NFL. Are you kidding me? It kind of blew me away. I mean, this was a grounded, smart, mature high school football coach right down the street who just told us that Max Cutforth's ceiling is the NFL. So maybe he's going to be the good one that crops up out of this and wins it through a year of development. Maybe it's the transfer portal guy. At one point, Caleb Annett was supposed to be the guy. Jackson Taylor thinks he's coming in to compete for a job. Those are the storylines I want to see between January and August 1st, and I don't really care what happens with the starting quarterback decision for Oregon right now. Yeah, we'll figure that part out later.
6-3 record, 9 games in. What's your grade for Nate Prater at this point?
B-, because I think at times he's been brilliant. I think at times this offense has been very creative. I think at other times, I think you could split it in thirds. 2 or 3 games, brilliant, creative, and like, whoa, he's growing on us, and that's pretty good. And then 2 or 3 games where it's kind of like, okay, that was good enough. Good job. Nicely done. And then 2 or 3 games, it's like, wow, did I really just watch that? So he's learning. He's a rookie. He's never really done this before. He's highly, highly, highly inconsistent. The thing that bugs me, though, and drives me crazy is just, you say on Monday's press conference that you're a run-heavy team, and then you don't have it. And it's a lot like Chip Kelly using Ashton Genty right now. What's Nate Prater doing with Dylan Riley? Why is he getting 5 carries in some of these games? He should be getting 20-plus carries in every single game, win or lose. Blowout, tight game, whatever. I need to see some more consistency. I need to see some more power. I need to see things that make sense with the running game. So almost kind of an incomplete, but I'll give him a B- because he's a rookie and he deserves to have a little bit of credit to grow.
5-0, by the way. Boise State 5-0 when Dylan Riley gets at least 10 carries.
There you go. That's the stat we're looking for. Give him 10 carries and Boise State beats San Diego State.
All right, Mike. So as we kind of wrap this up, big picture, just on the football side, like I said, they're going to all disperse, take a couple days off, come back Monday and regroup. What is your confidence level that this team can still win a Mountain West championship this season?
49%. It's kind of a 50-50 deal. Right now I think probably Fresno State and San Diego State are going to get in the Mountain West championship game. San Diego State, on paper right now, I think San Diego State beats Boise State next week. I think Fresno State runs the table. They got 3 games left, and they're not very strong, and they obviously hold the tiebreaker against Boise State, and the tiebreaker wouldn't matter if you lost to San Diego State anyway. The odds on Vegas would tell me right now that the chances are it's going to be Fresno State, San Diego State in this championship game. So I do think, even though they control their own destiny, and that's fair to put that out there, I'm going to put Boise State on the outside. I say there's a 49% chance because it's close enough, and anything can happen, and no result for the rest of the Mountain West season, no result whatsoever would blow me away. It's been one of those kinds of seasons, and this is frankly one of those kinds of teams.
And you fully believe the basketball team will respond on Saturday?
I fully believe the basketball will respond big picture. And if they lose on Saturday, then I reserve the right to change my mind. So I know Utah Valley won a game the other day by 82. I take that as much of a grain of salt as I do Boise State losing to a D2 program by 1. So they're both kind of outliers, anomalies. I don't think that's the true identity of either one of these basketball teams. So somewhere in the middle is the reality. I think Boise State comes out and plays a tough game, and that's the most disappointing part about the game the other day. The one constant that I've always had with Leon, even when we're fighting to the core, even when I tell him his program has slow growth, and I still believe the slow growth thing exists. I just don't use it as much out of respect to Leon, and I've gotten to know Leon a lot better over the last couple of years, and we've tried to develop a little bit more of a mature conversation. So out of respect to him, I don't use it as much, but there's no denying because of what we saw the other day. It's little things like that this program is still in a slow growth stage. But I think that what I see is good enough. I think this team can compete. There's a roster and even a home schedule in front of me right now that gets me excited. And I haven't been able to say that about a lot of basketball seasons around here.
Well, we appreciate you for making this work on a Thursday, Mike Prater. We'll be listening. I'll hopefully still join you guys tomorrow at 4:15, but I just couldn't do the show in the morning. So appreciate you and Johnny for jumping on today. And we'll be listening 3 o'clock, Idaho Sports Talk.
Appreciate it, my friend. Thanks for having me. And go soccer. Go win a championship on Saturday. This community could use it. Have some fun, guys.
There you go. Appreciate it, Mike. Thanks. And as I said last night, penalty kicks, and they get it done. Boise State soccer winning, advancing to the championship game of the Mountain West tournament on Saturday. It was cold. It was raining. Nobody cared. The place was going nuts last night. Awesome to see, and nice enough to join us for a couple minutes, help us break down the big win. Kenzie McMillan setting the single season assist record, by the way, last night in the process with 9. Congratulations on the win, Kenzie, and got to be fun waking up, getting ready for a practice again today.
Yep, I'm excited. We have practice at 11. He let us sleep in after a late night last night because we had to go in a double overtime in PKs. So I'm super exciting, and I'm excited for Saturday.
What's that? What was that game like? I mean, you get goal disallowed for yourself, then they get one disallowed, and it was a weird game. And then they take the lead, and you guys have to come back, and then there you are in overtime, where the golden goal. If you give up a goal, your season's over. I mean, just what's the highs and lows? What was that like last night?
Yeah, honestly, it was a really weird game. Like with my goal getting called back pretty early on in the first half. And the frustration there, but getting the team back together enough to have the grit to score a goal ourselves. And especially when they scored, it was frustrating too, especially when that goal got called back. So having the grit and the perseverance in order to get that game tied up and fight to the very last minute, the 110th minute, and then go to PKs and trust that our team's going to win was huge for us.
And sorry that I don't know the answer to this. How many times you've been in PKs before or had to deal with a situation like that over your career, but just what's that like as well? Standing out there, and I know you had a chance as one of the shooters, but just standing there at the midfield line, watching all this unfold, and that's just got to be pretty nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I've only had one PK shootout at Boise State, and it was my freshman year, but I had COVID, so I was in running shoes in the sideline. So this is my first time being in it, honestly, since club soccer, which was like 5 years ago. So it was new for me because I haven't taken it in 5 years, but honestly, it's just about confidence, and our goalkeeper is great. Obviously, as you saw, she's amazing. And so having trust in the group, and we practice them, and at the end of the day, sometimes it doesn't go in, and like their best player ended up missing for them too. And so sometimes it's super unfortunate, but having a goalkeeper that's super confident and super good at PKs was what got us across the line.
Yeah, tell us about Ava DeLeast. I mean, 2 saves, the one hit the crossbar too, but I mean, obviously won all the accolades during the season. And I think 6 saves, had 2 more in the penalty kicks. I mean, just what you guys have had some great goalies, goalkeepers, at Boise State over the years, but obviously looks like you got another one.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I've had 3 great starting goalkeepers since I've been here, and they've all been super consistent. And she's a true freshman after losing a 5-year amazing goalkeeper in Birdie, but she really stepped up and really is a mature soccer player at such a young age. She acts like she's a senior, and she holds the group together like she's a senior. And her leadership as a freshman is something you don't see very often.
They're loving you in the chat here, Kenzie, the GOAT. Somebody said they said the ref screwed Kenzie out of that goal. Felt like our players didn't flop as much as San Diego State, which I'm proud of. They want you to bring it home. But what's in terms of penalty kicks, like, I don't want to say it's luck, but I mean, you got to pretty much guess correct, right? If you're the goalie or if you're the shooter, and just hope they go the other way. I mean, how much is it luck and just hoping that, because it wasn't like you rifled that shot as hard as you can. You're just hoping the goalie goes the other direction, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of tactics to things, but usually it's for the goalkeepers to read. As a player, you got to go with what you know. And I've been taking penalties my whole life, and so sometimes it's unfortunate in the way that she chose the right side. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to knock myself up too much about it. It was a decent PK, and she chose the right way and had a great block. So what was it like, the crowd? I mentioned it was raining and just the atmosphere and being able to host this tournament after winning last year. I mean, we saw Spencer Danielson out there on the sidelines. A lot of coaches from other sports, athletes from other sports were out there, packed crowd. I mean, some of the drone shots were really cool on the broadcast. I don't know if you had a chance to see any of those yet, but just seeing the support you're getting right now and just the atmosphere last night. What was that like? It's what we need. Obviously, with having so many people there and having the advantage of having the home field is huge for us. And people are scared to play at Boise State. I've had friends that have came and played there and said that it's the hardest place they've played at. And especially during the Mountain West tournament and the championship being on Saturday, as many people as possible. And the louder it is, because we're used to the crowd. Utah State isn't as much used to the crowd that we are, that it's going to be huge to have everyone behind our back.
So what would it mean? I don't know if you've allowed yourself down just to dream forward, but just to, we saw you guys celebrating last night, sticking up the sticker on the board there. I mean, what would it mean to do that one more time and to get this win on Saturday and punch your ticket to the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't won a tournament since 2019 and since I've been here in 5 years. So it'd be huge for us, especially to get the experience of NCAA and to hold a championship up at our own field. We won the regular season out in Arizona, so it's our time to win on our own turf.
And I don't know. I mean, I assume it's going to be sold out or is already sold out or what. Maybe there'll be scalpers out front trying to, scalp tickets. I don't know. But how badly do you, once again, for all the folks watching and stuff, hope you guys can pack the place. Maybe they can find a way with the fire marshal to get some extra people. And I don't know. But what do you think it's going to be like on Saturday?
Yeah, they've never stopped letting people in. So everyone come out. They'll say maybe it's sold out, but everyone come out. It's huge for us. And like I said, when we have the crowd going crazy, the other team gets pretty nervous, and we just dominate, and we use that as energy to get across the finish line.
Hey, show up, tell them Kenzie invited you and said to let you in. So hopefully that'll be enough. But
yeah, blame it on me if they don't.
There you go. There you go. Hey, appreciate it. Thanks so much for jumping on, Kenzie, and best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yep, take care. Kenzie McMillan, again, 9 assists, setting the single season record last night. Obviously doing great things, scoring goals as well for Boise State. And yeah, pretty cool playing for a championship on Saturday. As been a rough week a little bit around here for football, basketball, but you got a soccer team that's having a historic year once again and is one win from the NCAA tournament. So appreciate Kenzie for popping on short notice, and they're getting ready for practice at 11 here, and they'll have a game on Saturday. So hopefully that'll be pretty cool to watch. It'll be on the Mountain West Network if you're not going to be able to be there, but they are hosting it here in Boise on Saturday at night, I believe 7 o'clock. So hope to see a lot of folks out there for that. Surf City Bill saying go women's soccer, bring it home. So appreciate you guys for jumping on today. Go subscribe if you can, $7 a month at BroncoNationNews.com. We got football, basketball, heck, soccer coverage as well. So appreciate you guys for supporting BNN and our transition to 24/7 sports. And if you can help out and subscribe, we'd love to have you. Mike Prater's got a column up there right now that subscribers can read. Nathan Carroll's got some articles. Chris Van Sickle's been talking to a couple of recruits. Got a new one going up today. So a lot of exclusive coverage that you can't find anywhere else. And we appreciate the support of all of you that have already decided to subscribe. And those of you on the fence, we hope that you'll make the plunge, and we can promise that we're going to work hard to make sure you're happy with that subscription. So BroncoNationNews.com. You can chat in the message boards throughout the day, throughout the night. A lot of great discussion going on there. And as I said, multiple news stories popping up on the website every single day. So as I said earlier, I will not be no show tomorrow. No show tomorrow. So apologize for that, but no Friday show tomorrow. And then Nathan Carroll will be handling our basketball coverage on Saturday. Pre-game show will be at about 1 o'clock. Nathan Carroll will host the pregame show 1 o'clock on Bronco Nation News. And then the postgame show will be shortly after the game. I am headed out of town for a family event this weekend. So I'll be watching from afar and may have some tweets and comments and things. But Nathan Carroll will be manning the BNN basketball coverage on Saturday. And then I'll be back Monday morning to discuss and break it all down. So no lapse in the coverage. In fact, it may even be better with Nathan running things. So 1 o'clock for the pregame show with Nathan, full game coverage online, and then the full postgame show with Nathan as well. So hope to see a Saturday at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. Nathan Carroll will be live at Extra Mile Arena getting you set for Boise State and Utah Valley. No show tomorrow. We do have plenty of, like I said, content continuing to come to the website. And then I'll be back Monday morning with Brad Bedell, I believe. We'll talk some football, some basketball, and get you ready for the San Diego State game next week. No ball talk this week. They're on a bye week as well, so they'll be back next Wednesday. They had a scheduling conflict last night as well. So appreciate you guys. Go subscribe. Go check out the all-new BroncoNationNews.com, where we cover Boise State 24/7. Literally, if anything happens day or night, we got you covered on the site. We'll see you Saturday, 1 o'clock. Nathan Carroll for the basketball pregame show, and a big one for Boise State on Saturday at 2. And then go get some food, stick around downtown, and then go back and watch the soccer team try to win a Mountain West championship at 7 there at the Boaz Soccer Complex there near Boise State's campus. So appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for checking us out. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in the message boards. We'll see you online. We'll see you Saturday. BNN goes live at 1 o'clock for the pregame show at Extra Mile Arena. Boise State basketball trying to get back on track. We'll see if they can do it Saturday, and we'll have you covered every step of the way. Bronco Nation News Live, and of course, BroncoNationNews.com. Take care, everybody.
And final blade of grass. Done. And done. Who knew it'd take 2,007 man-hours to paint 47,962,053 blades of grass? Smells like game day. Whoa, it's not dry yet.